Some of you are very, very active. I know I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to the people who have set these expectations, that this is a new year and I'm going to start going to the gym 4 times a week. Not realistic, because the moment your body starts to get into that place, sometimes it starts to break down because you're not used to doing that much. But if you start out slow and at a consistent pace, then that would help you. Welcome to Totally Woman Podcast. Totally Woman is a bi-weekly podcast that uncovers essential health knowledge and highlights inspiring journeys that transforms women's lives. I'm your host, Rosemarie Crosdale, a licensed adult gerontology nurse practitioner, and this season, we want to hear from you. Email us at totallywomanpod1@gmail.com and find us on Instagram at totallywomanpod to join our conversation. While we encourage you to listen to this podcast for health tips, it is not a substitute for a relationship with a primary care provider or clinic. Now let's get to today's episode. Happy New Year. It's 2024. And I am so excited to welcome you back to Totally Woman Podcast, Season 2, Episode 1. I am your host, Rosemarie Crosdale. Let me reintroduce myself and introduce myself to the new people, the new ladies who are joining me here for the first time. I am a registered nurse and also an adult gerontology nurse practitioner. On this podcast, I discuss everything that represents us as women. Nothing is off limits, from our physical makeup to our mental and emotional state. Totally Woman is available to listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and also you can log on to icn.dj to listen to Totally Woman. What an amazing journey I had with Season 1. Let me begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude for all the support I received. I am so grateful. Thank you very, very much. Please understand that I take none of this for granted. I am so excited to see where Season 2 is going to take us. I want to just shout out some of the top countries. Listen, the USA, yes, Jamaica, the land of my birth. Oh my God, I have people in China and India. Those were the top countries. Oh, let me not forget about Canada, the top countries who supported me. Thank you so much. And how can I forget the cities? Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, Charlotte. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I just want to thank you. I cannot say how thankful I am. Season 1, we covered so many things. I didn't even realize how much we covered until I, went back and even just started to look back at some of our episodes. We covered anywhere from hygiene. We talked about mental health. I want to just take this opportunity to thank Miss Heather Dennis. She was one of my first guests, and I want to thank her so much. She covered mental health, and what an awesome job she did. I also want to thank my childhood friend, Nicolene Miller Barrett, who participated on our breast cancer awareness episode. She shared our story with us, and I'm so happy to continue to report that she is still cancer-free, and we just want to give God all the thanks that she is just, on this journey, and we're here to continue to supporting her. We also talked about grieving during the holidays. We went on to say how we're going to be supporting each other during this time. We talked about Thanksgiving, and how can I forget about our live Thank you all so much. That's how the season ended. We ended with a live. At first, it was just, mind-boggling for me. It was so overwhelming. But again, thank you so, so much for your support. It was just greatly received, and I hoped in the future that we do so much more of those. Ladies, it's 2024. And now is the time for us to get back into the groove of prioritizing ourselves and our health. Yes, I want to say that again. We have to get back into the groove of prioritizing ourselves and our health. During the new year, I know it's the beginning of the year. Some of us, we make so many resolutions lofty resolutions and goals, right? We set the standard, we set the bar so high, and we set it so high that sometimes it's not attainable. What we want to do is make sure that the resolutions, whatever you're calling them, your resolutions, your goals, that they are attainable and that they're also realistic. The goals have to be realistic. If they're not realistic, you're just going to fall off. We don't want that to happen. We want the goals to be attainable, so when you do set them, you're able to do them. Let's start off with just even, getting our physicals done. Some of us last year, we said that we would do our physical. We would have gotten, our mammograms done. For some reason or the other, we weren't able to do it. Let's get those things done again. Get your physical done. Get your mammograms done. If you're 40 or older, that's the recommendation for a mammogram. But also remember that there could be a reason why you're getting your mammogram earlier. Like, for example, if you have a maternal mom or a grandma who has the BRCA gene. And sometimes, like my friend Nicolene in season 1 explained, she didn't even have the BRCA gene, but she tested positive for breast cancer. So we also have to be aware of these things, okay? Another thing is getting our colonoscopy. Are you 45 to 50 years old? Even if you're younger than that, sometimes you may have irritable bowel syndrome. There are other issues that you're having with your bowels and stuff like that. You may need to start getting your colonoscopy before the age of 45. We have to remember to also get that done. Colonoscopy is very, very important. One of the things I'm going to say, and I'm going to say it, when we go to the bathroom, something that we should be doing is looking back, right? We need to look back and see. We're looking at the color. We'll see if there's any blood in our stool. These are some of the things that would probably prompt us to maybe get a colonoscopy much earlier than the recommended age. What about getting your pap smear done? This is something that you would be doing with your GYN doctor. The recommendation for having a pap smear usually starts at around age 21, right? So age 21 is usually the recommendation for getting a pap smear done. Ladies, let us not neglect our eyes. Some of us, we're on the screen, all of us, we have iPhones, we have tablets, we have our computers, and we're on screen a lot. So getting your eyes checked out. We want to get screened for diabetes. We want to get screened for hypertension. Also, if you're not sure, I want to touch on vaccines a little bit, because vaccines, I know everybody's a little bit leery when it comes to talking about vaccines and what vaccines you should be getting versus the ones that you shouldn't be getting. At this point, we're still in flu season. Everyone should be getting a flu shot. So if you haven't got your flu shot as yet, you should definitely put your flu shot as a priority to get your flu shot. Still flu season, so you can still get your flu shot. Another thing that I want to say is that if you are not sure of the vaccines that you need, you can have your primary doctor do a blood work where they're taking titers to check your immunity. Say, for example, measles, mumps, and rubella. This is your MMR series. Did you have them? When was the last time? I know a lot of times we've had vaccines as children, but now you don't remember. If you don't remember, this is a simple blood work that you can have your primary doctor do, and they will do that, and you would see if you have immunity for example, to MMR? Are you immune to tetanus? Tetanus is something that we should be getting once every 10 years. If you got stuck by a nail or some piece of metal, you probably would need to get a tetanus booster. Okay, so that would be something that you would want to do. Hepatitis B, that is another vaccine series that we should all be getting as adults as well, especially if you're working in healthcare, you're traveling. This is a vaccine, you're sexually active. This is a vaccine that you should be looking in towards getting. Okay, so these are some of the recommendations and the guidelines that are set for us to follow to make sure that we're prioritizing getting these vaccines. The United States Preventative Service Task Force, they're the ones who set the guidelines. So understand that we're following the guidelines. But like I said, one size does not fit all. So a way in which you will know if you need these vaccines is by doing that test of having the blood work done where you're getting your titers drawn. And this will help you to know what tests you need to do. Always check with your primary provider. I'm providing you with different guidelines. I'm providing you with what the recommendations are, but you also have to know your history. You have to know different things about yourself that you can also talk to your doctor about, okay? So these are things that I want you to prioritize. Some simple things that we can do. Like I said, a lot of times we set these lofty expectations. You haven't been in the gym in 10 months, and all of a sudden now you want to go to the gym 4 days a week. Not realistic. How about we just start with a little walking in place, right? I just started doing this the other day where they call them, I think it's high knees or something like that, where you're just walking in place, you're lifting up your knees and you're just using your hands to touch. You probably do like probably 20, then you add another 5, you do 25. And each time as you go, you build yourself up. These are things that I didn't even know. YouTube is so good. YouTube has these, exercises for beginners that you could be doing at whatever level you are, right? Some of you are very, very active. I know I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking to the people who have set these expectations, that this is a new year and I'm going to start going to the gym 4 times a week. Not realistic, because the moment your body starts to get into that place, sometimes it starts to break down because you're not used to doing that much. But if you start out slow and at a consistent pace, then that would help you. So just walking in place, right? Just putting your TV on YouTube, doing the beginner channel. There's so many apps. I saw this thing the other day. It's called the Better Me app, where they're promoting just walking. You need no weights or anything. You're just using your own body weight to help you with exercise. How about if you're a soda drinker, for example, maybe cutting back on sodas. Sodas, they have so many sugars in them. Maybe drinking some water. Sometimes I maybe have a Pepsi. That's my weakness. Don't judge me. But instead of having a Pepsi, I probably would just have like seltzer water, or sometimes I feel for like something that is carbonated, maybe a little flavored water or so. A lot of these things, they have no calories in them. They're sugar free, but they may give like a little hint of flavor and you feel like you're drinking soda. Some seltzer water, very, very good, to trade out then for soda. If you're somebody who used to eat fast food, maybe you'll say, okay, I'm not going to eat fast food. I'm going to try to cook more. Maybe you go grocery shopping, you try to incorporate some fruits and vegetables, whole grains, nuts, different things like this, avocados. These are things that will help you as you go along, that you can slowly get towards a healthier way of living. Because sometimes when you start out too fast, then you drop off of the wagon, right? But if you take your time and you go slowly, and there are times when you're going to mess up. There are times when, you're going to feel for something sweet, but I don't feel like you should be totally like depriving yourself, but just, cut down. Maybe if you used to eat a whole entire plate of something, maybe cut the plate down to half the size now. Incorporate more vegetables on your plate, incorporate some protein on your plate, and try to fill up by drinking water and adding fruits and vegetables to your diet. These are ways for us to just get back in without, spending too much money. Some of us, the gym membership, it's expensive. You may not be able to afford it. These are things that you are able to do at home with these apps that are free, that are available out there that you can utilize, ladies, that will help us as we go along on this journey. Okay, so many different things that you can incorporate to make your life much easier and to be much healthier as well. According to Mark Twain, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. I'm going to say that again. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. So guess what? You have to get up, right? You have to do something. You can't just sit there and say, I want to lose 20 pounds, and then you don't do anything and 20 pounds just come off. It doesn't work like that. So like I said, if you're able to just walk in place, if you're able to just sit on a chair and just pick up your legs up and down, you just want to get your heart rate going. And this is even a good start, right? So these are things that we want to slowly incorporate, that we can allow ourselves to optimize our health. Ladies, the reason why I want to just share this with you is based on my own personal journey as well. I have struggled with my weight for my entire life. Ever since as a young girl, I've always been bigger than my classmates, everyone. But gradually, even now, as I've gotten older, with being in menopause and perimenopause, different hormone changes, as we get older, it's harder for us to even lose weight. So I just want to share my journey with you and let you know that there are times when, I'm at a good place, and there are times when it's not such a good place, right? I shared in season 1 where I mentioned about losing my son. So there are times sometimes when that grieving process, that emotional side will take over your mindset. And there's sometimes where you cannot focus and do the things that you want to do. But thank God I've learned how to incorporate some meditation, right? Different things that have allowed me to where I am today, that I'm able to even share with you without the tears flowing. So I am not where I'm supposed to be at 100%, but I'm definitely not where I was before. So you can definitely take this as my testimony. If I can do it, say to yourself, if Rosemarie can do it, I can do it too. So I want to encourage you, ladies, don't give up on yourselves. Take it one day at a time. It's a journey. Each and every one of us, we have our own personal cross that we are bearing. Your situation may be different from mine, but I just want to encourage you that as long as you start, and that's the key thing that I want you to take away today, you have to start. How do you start? You get up. It's that simple. You have to get up. So in order for you to get to the next level of where you want to get to in 2024, because ladies, 2024, it's your year. It's my year. But you have to claim it and you have to believe it. Look in the mirror and say that to yourself. 2024 is my year, right? And that's what you're going to say. And that's how you're going to encourage yourself and know that you've got this. Yes, you've got this. Like it says in Philippians 4, verse 13, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. So there's nothing that if you purpose it in your mind that you won't be able to do. You can do it. You've got this. And I'm here with you on this journey to make sure in whatever way that I can to provide you with encouragement and different resources of how this will be attainable for us in 2024. But guess what? You have to start. And by starting, you just get up. Get up. So that's what you're going to be doing. Ladies, Totally Woman, we actually have a new IG page. Yes, it's at Totally Woman Pod. You can still find me at Rose_Cross for those of you who still, have my original page. But Totally Woman has its own page now, and it's at Totally Woman Pod. That's the IG page. Also, if you want, you can email. It's totallywomanpod1@gmail.com. totallywomanpod1@gmail.com. That is the email address. You can also leave your reviews, if maybe a topic or something that you want us to talk about, whatever you want to share, you can always email us and find us again on Instagram at totallywomanpod. As always, let us continue to inspire, motivate, and uplift each other. I can't wait to join you on the next episode. Have a wonderful day. Totally Women Podcast is hosted by Rosemarie Crosdale. This episode was produced by Quana and Wise Grisette. Episode artwork by Estrella Grisette and powered by Indie Creative Podcasts.